Test one, two, three. Test one, two, three. Test one, two, three. Test an audio. Audio seems to be working. I don't know if you guys and just don't want my iPad to run out of battery here eventually. Let's see here. Bum 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 bum. Main monitor. Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Thursday night. Are you ready for Thursday? I am. Just finished some work and supper, and I need to set up some stuff for my D&D campaign. Might even work on my New World, which is my next campaign I'll be working on. And so this is a map. So New World's a pretty interesting concept. New World is a D&D campaign based in Dungeons and Dragons, right? So it's going to be dungeons and wizards and all the kind of fantasy stuff that you get to used to. However, the twist is it's based on our planet. So it's like our states, like the big town that my campaign will probably take place in is mostly Atlanta. I used to live there, and all the people that are in my game live in Atlanta. So they know it really well. Now, why the hell would I do that? Why would I build a game based on Atlanta, right? The city of Atlanta. Well, or even the US, right? Well, one of the things I find is that players don't always care about the one in Faerun and all the things that come along with Faerun. The other thing is that for some people, distance, like they have no ability to understand like how long it takes to go somewhere, right? And so the whole thing is that everybody knows from going, you know, if you live in Atlanta, you know how bad traffic is. You know, like, you know, how long it takes to go from like one place to another. So because of that, you know, there's no argument about like why this is taking so long, right? So that's a cool thing. So by doing this, then the theory would be is that, hey, they can see exactly what's going on. They know the places, they may have more ownership to it. So I do have New World set up over here in this website called Kanka. It's like a site for hosting like a Winky almost for Dungeons and Dragons. And they give you all kinds of world building stuff. So I may play around with that for a little bit. But right now, Task Force Shadowbinders here. This is my weekly D&D campaign. My team, the players in my game have gotten themselves in a pickle in a bar with some pirates. But there's a bigger game going on right now. So let me explain what's going on here. And then I'll have to build another map for it. What it comes out to is I need to get myself ahead so that I'm ready for them. So I'm gonna go into Storm Coast. I think this is this is the low res version of the map. I have two versions. I have the low res and high res. Low res because a lot of people. Oh, that is the low res. This is the high res. Really? It didn't seem like it was very high resolution. No, we'll go with the low res version. All right, because a lot of people have laptops and they don't like zooming in. Have to zoom in so far just to read something. So if I put a super high res version in it, it's great for people like me that have a big laptop or really nice monitors. Not great for them. Hey Nick, talking through like what my groups got themselves into, because I'm probably gonna have to build another map for them. Let's go ahead and delete Luskan here. They know that they're in Luskan already. Gauntlegrim. So there's a reason that's selected. So what's going on is a dude has stole some stuff from the magic school. And he's coming over here and he's heading to Gauntlegrim on this kind of route. And they have got a job that they're supposed to go chase after him. Now they're in this bar fighting, they're gonna fight these pirates instead. But really what they're supposed to be doing is figuring out where this dude is. Okay. Now the reason for that is this group of ragtag individuals, what they've been doing is they've been how to put it, they've been forced to join. 4 of them have been forced to join a task force called Task Force Shadowbinders. Think of it like this campaign in Dungeons & Dragons is kind of like Suicide Squad. They're a bunch of criminals. So Aramis, Petros, Zoe, Valentine's no longer part of the group. I should move her down. But Terrence, Ornyx, and Pick, these are all, well, Pick and Ornyx are not necessarily criminals, but the 4 of them, Terrence, Zoe, Petros, and Aramis, the original 4 people of the group, These other two players came in the campaign a little bit later. They're all criminals. They're various criminals. I mean, they're not like they're soft criminals. They're not hard criminals, but they have they've done some crimes. And so the government, the shadow government, ran. In Waterdeep. There's the criminals or how Waterdeep's ran. The big town in Forgotten Realms. So if we go back to Forgotten Realms here and take a look here, Waterdeep is this big, huge town, and it's going to take probably a little bit to load in the map because it is so big. Then it shouldn't look like that though. It should look way nicer than that. There it goes. It renders it now. This is a big, huge town. Okay, and this town is ran by the masked lords of Waterdeep. Think of them like super rich people, but they call them masked lords. Nobody knows their identities. Okay, and so they fund a couple different groups of people. One of them is the House of Justice. I love this over here, by the way. There's some good call outs in D&D. A lot of cool tropes that they do for nerds. But in Waterdeep, these masked lords of Waterdeep are running several different groups. One of them is called Force Grey. And they're basically just like groups of people that the government's paying to like keep the peace and stuff and keep Waterdeep safe. So Task Force Shadowbinders is another one of those groups that fights criminal organizations through government funding, but they bend the law a little bit. They don't care what they're doing as long as the end result is good, kind of like the Suicide Squad. And they're ran by Thaddeus Blackwater, Amanda Stonebreaker, Crom, Frostwolf, Silas Slytherin. He's one of my favorites. Yes, I'm Silas. How you doing? Yes, that's Silas. He is a snake person, actually, and he's also a cannibal. He likes to eat just about any meat possible. And then Miguel is one of my old characters. He's a big Goliath. But so the Goliaths are like giants in D&D. And this would be Miguel. He's a pretty badass dude. You don't want to meet him in a dark alley. He will mess you up. Meet Miguel. Me crush you. You just terrible person. Me don't like you. That's Miguel. Excuse me. And so, get some 7-Up here. It's been a long time since I've had to talk like Miguel. Any hoodles. So this Task Force Shadowbinders group basically captured all these criminals and did not really give them a choice. Told them, hey, they're going to work for us or we're going to send you to prison for a long period of time. Now, to keep them in check, just like in the comic book of Suicide Squad, they were implanted with a device that if they didn't listen to orders, that their head could be blown off. And so they don't like Task Force Shadowbinders. They don't like working for this group. So they have found that the wizards in Luskan, ran by a guy named Mordecai the Red, he has offered them the ability to get out of this deal. And he will basically give them some way out. And so this is Mordecai the Red right here, this old white dude that looks kind of like Gandalf. He is part of Forgotten Realms lore, so I did not make him up. He is part of the D&D lore. He has basically de-chipped two of the 4 people. They're not really chips. They're more of like magical stones that have been kind of embedded into their bodies that they don't know about when they're sleeping. And so, that's what's kind of going on there. So they've got 2 of them out-chipped. Well, the thing that they don't know, and none of my players hopefully are watching this stream. I've told them don't watch my D&D streams. So what's happened is one of the characters in the campaign is a double agent, Ornyx Shadow Dynasty. He contacted the group and let him know that, hey, these guys are getting these chips out and they're doing some bad stuff. So since Ornyx kind of told the group about it, he contacted Crom and said, hey, Crom, by the way, these guys are like, what do I do? These guys are looking to turn on you guys, and I don't want to. I like my job. And so they paid this guy to steal the stuff from the wizard school. And it's a bunch of accounting information and stuff that shows that the wizard school is actually doing some not necessarily good things with the school with the Red Wizards of Thay. Because Mordecai the Red is actually a Red Wizard of Thay, and they're kind of not necessarily the most best wizards in the world. They are red wizards, and you can see Mordecai's got red robes on and stuff. They're necromancers to start out with, and Mordecai is he's not evil, but he's not good either. he's got his own intentions and his own plot and plans and things that he wants to do, and he may be using some of the school's funding for that, which is technically speaking against the rules. So he's hiding all that, but they have some accounting paperwork to prove that he and some other wizards there may not necessarily be reporting to the school everything they're doing. And the goal is that Shadowbinders want to have something against the wizards, so they can use that for blackmail for punishment of trying to help this group out, right? Well, the group doesn't know about that. So they're going to go in the woods after that, and they're going to run into a counter with the Task Force Shadowbinders. You know, Crom would be there, Silas would be there, Miguel would be there. Amanda and Thaddeus will be way too... They're not... That's not going to happen. They're not going to be there. The other thing that's happened, which is a double-cross thing that they don't... Aramis, which is one of the characters in the game, doesn't know that Barton Tabin right here, this is his father, or his stepfather. He kind of adopted him as a child. He thinks that Barton runs this Psychon Jai Syndicate, which is a crime group syndicate. What he doesn't know is that Barton really is the person that runs Shadowbinders, Task Force Shadowbinders. And his real name's not Barton Tabin. Something totally different. And so that's the moment that he's going to realize that he's been betrayed by his stepfather. And so his real name is somewhere in my notes here. Where's my, let's see. This is some lore that I also have to get, make sure I get out. Let's see here. Battlehammer, the nursery, killed son. Yeah, I know about that. This is just some notes I made on the, this tattoo from this girl, this dwarf girl that they found. Parties teleporting. I don't care about that. So it'd be session 27. It's not Court of Guildstone. The Hands of Havoc are this group of people that have got this shard that they're looking for. That's a Golden Child's name. Did I not give the name out? Looking through my notes here, I don't see where I gave the name out. I gotta think about this for a second. Who did I tell then about this? Somebody messaged me. I've had to tell one of them about this. Right here it is. Xander. Xander is his real name. I knew I had it somewhere written down. I'm not always great about updating my notes. Okay, so there we go. So I don't have it in my notes just so I know that his real name is Xander Roth. So that's gonna kind of come out, and he kind of knows about it a little bit. Aramis knows that there's something wrong there. There needs to be a confrontation. It's gonna happen in these woods, and so I'm gonna need another woodland kind of environment here. It's I'm using our Incarnate, which is my go-to map making thing, and I made this. This is for Task Force Binders. I'll get into that a little bit later on what that is, but let me just return my maps and let's see if there's I actually could make the map myself. Forest. Let me see what's available online, because then I can go work on New World and see if there's something that's good enough for me to use and just tweak a little bit. And I do like all of these. Most of these are pretty good. I like having enough stuff like this is pretty clean. Yeah, see, this is pretty clean. I like this. There's a little stream here. This gives enough room for battling. Oh, it's not clonable. How big is it? Oh, this is a Patreon map. That's why. He wants somebody to pay for it. Yeah, a bunch of these I bet you are Patreon maps from somebody that just basically wants to do it. I mean, I can make my own map. We've got time tonight. Let's go through and show how maps work. So let's see here. We want a fantasy battle map. Sure, battle maps 2.0. And we have different art styles. So you can see here, they're gonna, if you notice, like the pixel art is of different, like a color contrast and stuff. So, you know, you can use art from any one of these, but you want to kind of take a look. So this is kind of like a high contrast art style. This is more of a low art contrast style. And I've been mostly using these kind of, I just think it looks better. Let's see here. I'm going to do portrait. Could do landscape. Do landscape because most laptop monitors are widescreen, right? So they're like this. So because they're widescreen, you kind of want to go that. So now you can see here, we're going to start with just like, what is our underground growth, right? And so this is where we're going to go in and we want to, we're going to want to paint and we're going to get a texture, it's called. And so there's many different textures. Like for example, this would be more of like a greener kind of with dirt, right? And so I can just wiggle my mouse around here. I could also use the, I can change my brush style here. So here's my brushes up here and I can make these bigger. So I can make this like 100 or even like as big as it goes, 200. And then when I click here, it's just a lot faster to make it happen, right? So we could have some really bright green. I don't necessarily like the bright green, but what I could do is I could paint over this with another, which is a good painting style, and just go lightly over it. So let's see here. Let's see, that's dirt. This is grass. See what castle they have. Green carpet. This is carpet colors. You have deserts, you can see here. This is for some dungeons. You have some eastern styles for this is mosaic filler stones and bamboo and then water. As you can see here, they have all these textures that are kind of cool. This is face, so this is gonna be really high contrast colors. Here's forest though. This is what I like to get into. So we want to get into a more foresty kind of floor setting here. So we have a dark one and a lighter one. Let's take a look at this dark one. Yeah, see, this is, I don't know if I like that. That's kind of busy, right? That's too busy. We can probably make this a little bit, let's go back here and take a look here if there's anything a little bit less busier. That's dirt. Let's go into here. This is a little bit better, I think. This could be highly covered forest. Should we go with a lighter color though? You can see here there's all kinds of different styles that they have here. So you can start with like a moss setting here, or a dark moss, sewers. There's all kinds of options here for your textures. I don't think I want to have like I don't think I want to have it where they're like coming into like some ancient ruins. I think that that'd just be too cliche of the situation. I could go with a little bit lighter. See, so this is more of a lighter kind of texture. And then maybe like just lightly see if I can't find a texture to kind of paint on top of this that'll make it look a little different. So right here, like this is grass, so we can kind of come in here and see. So we just put a little bit grass growing as a texture in here. We'll get this started. And then we'll make like a little path out of some dirt that's maybe through the forest that since, you know, people kind of walk through here, we'll make like a path. So we can do that with some dirt. So let's go find, let's make this a little bit smaller though. Let's make this like 80, for example. And then, you know, we can kind of have like a pathway through here. Something like this. You know, it's the wood, so it should never be like, you know, fully like perfect, right? I mean, it's woods for Christ's sakes. And then this is where we can kind of come back over this again with a little bit of this kind of here and make it look like it's not so natural. And just kind of do some strokes in here. I want to get a couple different colors and we'll blend some colors together then. I want to touch this up a little bit, lighten this up so it doesn't look, so it kind of blends in together a little bit, and that's going to make it look a little bit more different. Then we got to put a bunch of trees in, right? And then that will kind of really put a little bit more, break this up a little bit in here. Some different green colors in here that kind of make it look like it's kind of ingrown a little bit. And then we'll get to the stamp tool. So this is a stamp tool. This allows me to stamp trees, for example, right? So I can just go to trees, tree, do a search. And so here's all of our different tree options we have. So we're going to do forest trees here. Looks like we have some delicious trees. We have some tree stumps and stuff. This is what we probably want to stay in. And there's different styles of trees, right? So we can kind of have, you can see that they're different shapes. So that it doesn't look like it's just one kind of tree out there. So I think that that's probably enough. Maybe one more tree right here. Because they have some rogues. They're going to want to be able to have roguies to do some sneaky stuff. And then what we'll do is we'll probably put like a tree trunk, a couple tree trunks in here. Like, you know, this has been used. And then we'll probably want to do is also get in and add a couple of like a log maybe in here somewhere. Like right here. Just one. And then we'll put some broken logs in here like this one also. This will give some cover and stuff. And then maybe like an old, you know, even we'll make that a little bit bigger so it's like, hey, this is in the path broken, right? So kind of force them into like, hey, you know, right here, if we do this right, this will make it look like that tree actually broke. So see how those kind of blend together and it makes it look like this tree fell down. And that's, I think, gonna look kind of cool. So we can just send this back one, move down a layer. And now that looks like, hey, this tree fell down and kind of rotted out and broke it. It's right in the path. This is going to make it look a little bit natural, a little bit more interesting of a map for people to play in. Now I have basically like they could be walk along here. I could have the task force Shadowbinders like right here waiting for them to like drop in on them. Or maybe they're arrogant enough where they're just waiting right here in the path for them. And there's no way to get around them because they're going to be, this tree will be in the way and stuff. So they'll have really hard work to kind of get around the situation. That seems like it would be kind of interesting. So I think that's kind of fun. I think this looks okay. It looks a little bit better than the stream one I did, the water one. Now I just need to go through and maybe clean this up a little bit more from a standpoint. But like I said, I'm not, this is a one-off map. It's not like something that's going to be around very long. So, I don't want lily pads. So now I can just go through and kind of make it a little bit darker in some areas, the grass, so it's not all the same color. I want to have definitely some shading going on here around the trees. So we'll make this a little bit darker. Like the trees are showing almost like a shadow onto the ground, and that will give a cool style effect here. We just have to play with light a little bit so that this looks more realistic. And we'll put some shadowing here too. So these trees, you can see where these branches are. It's making it look like the tree shadows coming over the grass there. And that's going to give it a little shadow kind of look. See here, and that's, this is just all. I've only taken one art class in my entire life, but I've read a lot about colors and shadowing and stuff like that. I painted miniatures a lot, so everything I know about that is from doing that. And so we definitely want to just kind of do this. And we should know where the skybox, the light source is from the skybox. But we're just doing this really simple. I mean, the players are going to be more interested about the bad guys in the map than this. I just need to make it fake enough where it doesn't look like super cartoony fake. There we go. That's pretty cool. I think that's okay. We may even want to put some bushes in there maybe or something like that. Let's go look and see what other foliage we can come up with. I don't think jungle is going to be the thing I'm looking for. Let's get rid of tree and take a look and see what else stuff is available. Like these, I like these bushes sometimes. I put those in too. That's desert. We gotta get the forest. Eastern effects, Elvish, Farmstead, Fey, Forest. Here we go. We got all kinds of forest stuff here. So we've got some bushes, some flower bushes. So we can just kind of put some wildflower bushes in here. That'll make it look a little bit more interesting. And then let's see here. We're gonna have some mushrooms around the map. We have mushrooms that grow by trees. So we'll say that, you know, there's a mushroom by these trees. That looks good enough to me. And then let's see, what else do we want? What do we have here? Put a little grass line there to make that look like, and I'm gonna flip this one to make it look like it's kind of, the grass has been kind of put up from the tree, so we can see that it's kind of cutting into the grass. That's pretty cool. We can do the same thing over here to make that look kind of interesting, like, hey, the grass is this tree has been kind of grown up, so this log has been down for a while, right? And so we can just kind of do this, and this will make it look like, hey, that log's been laying there for a while. And then we'll do the same thing over here for a little artistic flair to this to kind of make it look like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. This thing's a little bit up here and stuff. And they have different versions, so like you can put this straight one in here, flip that thing around, and then that's gonna look pretty decent. So you just have to know how to use these tools, and a lot of it is just playing around with them. I've been using this tool for a very long time, so I'm pretty comfortable with everything that it provides. In most of my battle maps I make with this tool, you can see there now this grass is kind of coming in and giving a little bit more 3D depth to the battle map of the players I'm going to use for this combat. Now let's go back in the stamp and take a look at a couple more things, see if there's anything else I want to put on here. I don't want to make the map too busy because it looks fake. So you got to have like you got to know when to start and know to hold them, know when to fold them. The quote famous Kenny Rogers. But I will put like an apple tree in here. I think that's kind of cool. And I think only one apple tree is kind of needed. And we'll probably make that a little bit bigger. Because this is a pretty foresty area that they're kind of going through. I think this is cool enough. We'll put this stump over here because we want to make it look like, hey, this tree maybe came from this stump, you know, this part of this tree. We may want to take this stump and kind of put it over here somewhere, just off the map a little bit, enough for them to kind of draw that in. This mushroom's a little bit out of place, so we'll just probably put it like right in here, and then have this mushroom instead kind of over here with a mushroom kind of over by this tree. That'll make them maybe think what's going on with that tree. All right, this looks good. We can save it. Let's save this. Save, and we're gonna call this this is Luskan Forest Conflict. We'll save that out, and that looks like that's pretty decent for our battle map for D&D. We've got that saved. We can export that out even. So we'll export as an image. 2K is fine. Yeah, that should be more than fine. Did it download? It downloaded right here. 2 megabytes. Okay, that's not too bad. And I can go back to here. So let's go back to our main map screen, and we'll come back to that a little bit here. So for Shadowbinders, all we then have to do is make a new map here. I'm using Roll20 for Roll20 for this campaign. Luskan Forest Conflict is what I'm going to call this. I'm going to bring this up by my right here, and this is going to replace this wood battle map. Go into here, switch it to the map layer. So there's many different layers. You can see here, this is the map layer. Kind of zoom out, get an idea what's going on here, and then I could just drag my map from off screen, this one I just exported, and then we'll see how much space it takes, and then we'll have to adjust the grids for a little bit, and then we'll put some enemies out there. Fit the page. Yes, please. There we go. So now we have it. We can zoom in. The squares are pretty good. We can see here that this is, so each square is 5 feet. So that's a pretty good square ratio. I do like this. Let's go into the bar scene here and grab those guys. and then get out of the map into the tokens. These are their tokens. 1, 2, 3. I need to go 4, 5, and then where's the last one? Petros is over here. Select him. Ooh. I'm gonna move Petros over here just to make this so it's easier for me to select these guys. Shift. Copy these. And then I can move Petros back. So he was definitely over by this door. I'm going to go into the battle map here. Bring their characters in. And there's their characters. I guarantee you it'll be something like this. It'll probably be Terrence. We're missing Zoe. Petros will probably be in front with Ornyx like this. It'll probably be like this. And then Zoe would probably be in the back, but somehow I forgot to copy Zoe. We'll go back to the other map and get Zoe. She's the cat. Here, copy her. Bring it over to the other map. And then I just need to make some tokens for some of my characters here. So Crom, for example, here. It's pretty badass. If I just drag them out, it's just going to be a square picture, and that's not going to look cool, right? So we need to get a icon for Crom. Let's see here. You can see that's his picture. And I don't think I have, let me check down in the token section here. That's what they call these, are tokens. Do I have tokens? Ooh, I do have tokens. Let's see here. So we should be able to bring Crom out for a token. Here's Crom. So we'll have him and we'll make sure that his name is there. Crom. And save. And now if somebody hovers over them, we'll see Crom. We'll definitely have Silas out. Well, we want these guys way up here too. So we'll move these guys up here. This will be Silas. That to his nameplate. Miguel would be here. And Miguel, these guys are like super high level dudes. Like Miguel's like a level 12, I think, barbarian. So this is not designed to be a battle that they're designed to like fight. They should run or they should negotiate. It's not a battle I expect them to fight these guys on. But just in case they do, I'll be prepared for that. And who's making? Oh, this is the dog. Yeah, he's pretty funny. He's one of the... They haven't met him yet. I'll bring him in. He's a dog. Nah, he should be a surprise character. I'll just bring in a thug that they'll go with them. So just like a bandit. A bandit captain. And this will be the group that's going to meet them. And so there'll be 4 against 6. But these guys are high level. So it's... maybe I'll bring in an assassin also. Oh, that looks like a drow. I don't think I like that. I'll just bring in a regular bandit. Kind of going along with this. We have our red shirt Star Trek guys. And I think that's good. That's a pretty good setup for like this confrontation of them. There'll be a lot of talk, mostly. I'm expecting that they'll try to talk their way, weasel their way out of this. Let's get this off. Petros, he's not ninja'd. That means he's invisible, but he's not invisible right now. So let's take that off him. And that will be good. That's good enough, right? For my campaign. Let's go here and then we can get rid of this woods battle map. I don't care about this one. I kind of made quickly. And it doesn't really fit with the flavor of what I've got going on here. So let's go to Luskan Forest, and I have to click these to delete it. There we go. Delete. There we go. All right, so we've now got 2 maps, and I don't like to go too far ahead, but I've got this pirate conflict that they're gonna probably run into next week. And then also they may run into the woods thing. I'm kind of hoping that they burn a bunch of their spells so that when they get here, they're kind of weak. That will help me kind of sell this a little bit more. And then they'll be more likely to not try to fight this because it's be like, hey, these dudes are super tough. So that's cool. That's my weekly campaign and stuff. Let me show you something else I'm working on. So let me open it up here, D&D, and my bookmarks here, and go to Catan. This is far more interesting of a conversation piece. So this is something that I've had in Encarta for quite a while. This was 3 years ago. You see here, I made this map called New Worlds. And the idea was a D&D campaign that's set in my own custom world that's based on our continents of the United States. And one of the reasons why I did this is because of when you have people that aren't necessarily understand the storyline of this world right here, this world called Faerun. If I say, hey, you guys need to go from Luskan all the way down to Waterdeep, they say, okay, well, we'll go there and we'll be there tomorrow, right? So they have to take this trip maybe down here like this. Well, that's weeks. That's weeks of travel, because honestly, if you take a look at the scale of this map, you can see here how many miles it is. So, right, so this distance right here, this is how I normally judge, is I'll just draw this line here and say that's 300 miles, right? And they don't have like any transportation other than walking right now. They're D&D. It's not like they have like they're gonna catch a plane ride, right? So if we take a look at this line and then we just kind of flip it to take a look at the, oop, we don't want to make it bigger. We want to rotate it. I want to, where is my option to rotate now? That's my measurement. I guess I can just use this to measure how many. So it's saying that that's 25 feet. This is, so that's 35 feet. So that's 10 more feet. So that's 300 miles. So that's 150 more. So that's 450 miles that they have to go to Waterdeep from Luskan. Okay, they don't understand that distance, and they don't really have a lot to say about like these towns. Like they don't know Triborn, what it is, or Long Saddle, right? They don't know what those towns mean. But if they were based in the US and I said, hey, they all live in Atlanta and they live in the suburbs of Atlanta. So if I, just go to Google Maps and say, look, we go over to Atlanta here where I lived for many years, right? And I say that I know that for a fact, a lot of the group lives in this area right here because this is where our D&D campaign started. There was a little gaming store up here that we all started playing at together. Well, if I make all the towns based on this area here in Atlanta, well, they all have huge value. They know how long it takes to get from Brookhaven to Roswell, or Dakar, or East Point, which is a pretty scary place. This is the airport over here. This is the bad. Anything over 20 in Atlanta that's on the south side, this is the bad side of town you don't want to be on. Belvedere Park ain't too bad. There's a drive-in theater over here, actually. That's pretty cool. I know a lot about Atlanta. Covington, there's a little town called Covington somewhere over in here. Right here, that's Connors. Where's Covington at? Oh, Covington's down here, right here. That's a pretty cool. A lot of the movies that are shot are actually shot down in Covington. Most people don't know that, but because Atlanta has a lot of movies shot in it for tax breaks, and that town had like Vampires Diaries and a bunch of other things shot there. Stone Mountain's a pretty cool place also. It's a big ass mountainous town. And of course, if you go up from Atlanta, I used to live here in Cumming, and then right up here is the mountains. These are the, you're going to get into the Appalachian Mountains at this point in time, right? If you kind of take a look here, you're getting into the big mountain range. So the magic school in my world is actually right up here in Cumming. It's right off where I used to live, by the way. If this was Buford Dam Road, I lived off of right here, Sanders. Let's see here. Why isn't this right? That's Buford Dam. The lake would be here. This would be Buford Dam Hill. You'd come up to the top of the hill. You'd come across. This isn't right though. Why isn't this right? Have I been? Oh, Knuckles. This is where I lived off. Sorry. So I used to live right here. That's where I used to live when I lived in there. And so we're really close to the lake, which was pretty great. We owned this big corner lot here. So we had like over an acre of land here because, we lived in a cul-de-sac. And so we owned, actually, this was our house right here. No, in fact, yeah, that's our house. That's our old house right there. So that's where I used to live. This big house. In fact, that's us because I think that's my wife's Halloween decorations that she was putting up. I put this stone patio stuff in right here, and stuff. So, but anyways, I put that fence in. You can see here, there's a fence in the backyard. It's where our dogs used to hang out and stuff. But we owned everything from like right here, and then we owned everything in this gully, and then back up on this hill and stuff. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. Oh, but because everybody knows this, right? Because we used to live here. So it's like, well, hey, if you used to live here, you know the area pretty well, and everybody still lives there. So now there's like this whole thing. Well, geez, if I just use this as my world, well, it's a hell of a lot easier to get them invested in it than if I didn't, right? So if I were to take a screenshot of this, something like this, right? And I said, hey, here's my map of D&D, I can turn this into something that they care about. So this website is a wiki website that allows me to kind of build out the world. And you can see here, I started with Brookhaven. And so if we go take a look at Brookhaven, that's an area. I did some AI art generation of this cool thing, like these kids hanging out in the street in Brookhaven, right? So it's still gonna be fantasy based. It's not modern times, it's still fantasy, but the location, the map wise, it will be the same. Every city will be the same as it is in the US. You see Brookhaven's a bustling town nestled within the sprawling city of Atlanta. The town is renowned for its enchanting blend of medieval charm and magical allure. Magister Astine Arvin is a wise and capable 42-year-old human overseeing the town's governance and serving peace and prosperity. The reason why, because there is a group of magisters that rule over all the major towns in Atlanta. So now in Atlanta, to understand this campaign, you have to understand that in Atlanta, we have something called ITP and OTP. Okay, and this is inside the perimeter and outside the perimeter. And if you're from Atlanta, you know what that means. And if you're not from Atlanta, you have no freaking idea. I am probably just sounding like a crazy person. But this is important to people in Atlanta. I've got this fly in here, and I've got this electric fly swatter. I'm going to kill that damn fly. He comes by me again. He's getting it. I've got it on my desk here. I've been trying to kill this fly all day. So what is the in perimeter and outside the perimeter? Well, Highway 285, or Interstate 285, goes around Atlanta. Anything on this side of, on the inside of 285, this big circle that goes around Atlanta, that's considered the town of Atlanta. They call that inside the perimeter. And anything that is on the outside of 285, that's outside the perimeter. Well, my world, my fantasy world, the 285 is not a highway. It's a big ass wall that goes all around the town. So what we basically have now is towns that are inside the wall, and so you can see here Atlanta inside the wall, and towns that are outside the wall. You know, which if we were to go to Google Maps, like for example, Sandy Springs outside the wall, Roswell, Alpharetta, East Cobb, Marietta, all outside the wall. Cumming outside the wall, Buford outside the wall. So we now have a pretty good idea of, okay, Stone Mountain's outside the wall. Covington, way over here, way outside the wall, right? You get into Union City, outside the wall. And then I live way over here, where I live. We'd have to go off. We are way over here. So I live over in this little town of Marbury, but I live in the middle of the woods. Over in this middle, well, actually, Verbena was way too high. We would be, yeah, we're over in here. In the middle of nowhere. See this road right here? This road right here? My house is right there. Middle of nowhere. Only a little tiny dirt road that goes there. That's my house. But back to Atlanta here. So I think I can sell this game and make it more realistic if I do this. So one thing is like, well, how do you make that map then, right? Well, this is how you make it. You get Atlanta like this in Google Maps, the way you like it. A pretty decent like shot of it. And then you screenshot this whole entire thing, right? What you want. Like I'm going to screenshot this part. And I think this is good enough to get the point across. And you're probably already knowing where I'm going with this, Nick. We go to our desktop. We find that screenshot. And this could be an overlay that I use to draw on. Okay. So now what I could do is I can go into Incarnate here. Go to new map. So let's go to maps. Create a new map. And we will want to make it a parchment map. And we'll take a look at the color styles. I kind of like this colored one here, but I also like this one. Looks super fantasy. Let's choose this style to start out with. Sure. And what we could do now is we can bring this screenshot into this, and we can then trace over it. So I think I remember how to do this. So one, I think you have to make a stamp out of it in order to bring it. So I think what you do is you say upload, choose image file, and we go to downloads. It's been a while since I did this, but I'm pretty sure I can kind of hack my way through it. So my desktop, here we go. Yeah. Let's see what that looks like. 3.4. And then now what I can do is I can stamp my map with that. So I'm going to find my custom stamps. Catalog. And there's my custom stamp. Continue. Should go. Should be able to go like this. Okay. Okay. And now I can just make this, set it to the background. So I'm going to go move it down a layer. I don't want to go down too far because then I won't be able to see anything else. But one thing I could start with is like then drawing lines over it. So if we bring up our draw tool for paths, right? And then this should have some properties on it for paths. So if I go here, paths. No, that's texture. I definitely want to go back to the line tool. We'd want to make this black. But I don't want to make it, so I want to make the city on the wall. I want to make it like, I don't want to make it a flat line. I want to make it a, I want to make it like dotted. Wait, you can just draw a wall with the ink thing? That seems weird. I don't think I want that. Let's go back to, let's close this out. I don't think that that's what I'm looking for. I don't want the shape tool. I want the path tool. Ah, here we go. So then we can have different styles, right? So this is cool. So you can draw free draw or style. So I'm going to say that this is, we'll take a look at this and see how this looks. See, that's looking pretty good. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Because then once I delete the background map, it's gonna, this will be all that's in place, right? So this is the trick of the trade here. And so all we have to do now is just kind of draw this map like this and trace over 285. And this gives us a perfect map of Atlanta. So we just basically draw over this. Now, if we were to delete the stamp, right? If we were to get this and delete this, see, that's still there. And now we have our wall still there, right? So this gives me the ability to make this map without, and I'm cheating, right? I'm just tracing like a old school, you know, used to do in school, you know, when you wanted to do something, but you're not a great artist. You know, you just kind of trace. But now this is actually realistic. This would be up to, you know, technically speaking would be to scale because this is the real map of Atlanta from Google Maps. And so that's how I did all my maps so far, like the map of the US and stuff. I just did this trick. And so I just kind of draw in here. Trace it like this. Get that part done. I like to do in little tiny spurts. I don't like to try to do a whole thing because if I screw it up, then I have to delete and start all over again. So I like to do little tiny chunks and then validate my work. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Because once I delete this map, nobody will be able to see it. So this is the wall. I think we'll just connect it like that. And that's pretty cool. That's the wall. So now what we could do is we can make this dash instead. These are the major roads, right? So we could say, you know, we want to make a major road up here. And so this will be, yeah, this is Highway 19 or 400 basically. Ooh, I screwed it up. This is why, like I said, I like to do little spurts, because if I have to undo it and to do it again, now I have to start all the way over from the top here. And if you have a bad or shaky hand like me, my mouse is losing the mouse pad right here. So, you know, I need to kind of move it back up. And then now we can kind of bring this down. And we'll want to bring 75 in. So we're just going to draw 75 like this. And this is going to be the only major roads in the game. You know, there may be off roads, but it's going to be the major highways that exist. And this kind of comes down to the center of Atlanta now. This is Midtown, basically. Oop, I didn't want to do that. Need to get my mouse tool so I can just kind of move things around here. I want to zoom in on this bottom part here now. And oop, I want my line tool back. That's not my line tool. I wanted this tool back. And so we'll just kind of try them through here. And this is 85 when it comes back out of Atlanta. And then I need to zoom out so I can just finish it up right here. This will be the path out. And this is 75 goes right here. This is 20. And 75 is 265 out here. So we'll have, how do we want to have this? We'll have it kind of come like this and go like this out. We'll say that this is the only road out. And then we want to have 20 split Atlanta also. And these will be the ways that you can get in and out of town. But that's wrong, because we want it to follow the south side of 20. So we kind of bring it up like this. And that's our roads. And then, oh, we had to bring 85 out up into Buford. So 85 turns into 295, 285 here. And we would basically have it come up like this. Okay. Oops. Do that little dot. So now we've got that. Now we can add place markers into. We can make streets if we want to. So we can kind of zoom in if we wanted to, get into the map here and make some streets if we needed to. But really, this is a high level map. That's what I wanted to make today, to kind of just give the overview of Atlanta, so that people can see it. So now what we're going to want to do is make our different town names, right? So we're going to, this will be Alpharetta here. So we'll need to replace that text with the word Alpharetta. Why am I can't, oh, here it is. Should really move Alpharetta so I can see what it says. Alpharetta. And we should probably make this a little bit smaller. Okay. Oop. Shift Z. Nope. We get that text selected. Now I can merge all these paths down. These are the roads, right? I can take all these, I can right click here and merge this down, flatten. I'm gonna flatten to the background. Oop. Undo. We'll flatten that to the foreground. Where did they go? Undo. Why are these not? these should. Well, let me lock them to start with. That way they don't move. But I should be able to flatten these. Not sure why I can't move down a layer. Let me delete that real quick. Okay, they're still there. Okay, cool. Never mind. All right, that's cool. They'll be there when we get rid of it. So we'll put Alpharetta right here, and we just want to have some town names in here that we know about. So in here, we're gonna click here, and this is gonna be Sandy Springs. So that they know that these are the towns they care about. And that font size is still too big. 12. That looks better to scale here. Maybe I'll get 12 for here. Alpharetta. Put a font here, make this 12. Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is pretty much how I do everything. I'm a cheater. Marietta. And I'll save this so if I spell things wrong, I can always go back and fix it. And we're gonna say, we know Brookhaven's a big town in Atlanta, so we're gonna have that. Brookhaven. There's a really good farmer's market down there I like a lot. Me and my wife used to go down there on the weekends. My wife, for a few years, lived in Midtown, which is like right here. She lived pretty much downtown and worked at a law firm down there. And I used to have to drive every weekend to see her back in the old days. And God, that was miserable. Spend 2 hours in traffic one way just to make it down there on a Friday. It was not cool when we first started dating. I mean, well, the dating part was cool. It was just having to drive everywhere. That really kind of sucked. Let's see here. So decor. We'll get East Point in. All right. So people have a good idea. I mean, these guys all know Atlanta, so all you have to do is put some you just have to put some landmarks in so that they can see, and then they're pretty much dying. They'll know exactly what I'm clicking here. That's Vinings. And my wife actually originally lived there when I first met her. Actually, she lived in Smyrna. She didn't live in Vinings. She was like on the border just about between the two. But yeah, when we first started dating, she lived here in Smyrna. And I used to take 285. I used to live up in Alpharetta here when we first met. Don't know why I'm telling you guys all this stuff, but that's... And then she moved downtown, and I stayed in Alpharetta. And then we moved in together about, I don't know, maybe a couple years later. And we lived in East Cobb. We lived off this road here. There was like a road about right here we lived. So we were halfway between 400 and Marietta's where 75 was. And then the gaming store I used to DM in was right up here. It was like less than a couple miles from our house that we used to live in East Cobb. And that was pretty cool. And so let's put Stone Mountain also on the map, because that's also a big town in this game. And Stone Mountain. And we can make that 2 words on the map, so it kind of matches what it is in Google Maps here. Just gonna move it down so people know. I want to put Buford on it because I know a couple of my players are from Buford, so I want to have places that they know be on the map. And let's see there. So that way they'll feel excited when they see their town name on the map. We'll do Coming. Because like I said, there's a big mage school there. And that's important. And now normally what I like to do is I'll probably add some like red dots to the map so that it's traffic is the worst, man. I will probably add Duluth over here. That's a good point. Not Duluth, Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is Duluth, Georgia. And then they'll know where Swanee is. I guess I could put Lawrenceville in because that's another big town. Sville. I think I have that spelled right. Double check here. Lawrenceville. Yep. Lawrenceville. Pop that there. Oh, we're gonna have to get Union City and stuff out so they understand that that's what road's coming out. So we'll just put Union City down here. I feel like I have enough on the map from town standpoints. And now if I were to select this and hide it, I should be able to hide and show this. Where is it? I don't want to flatten it. I want to change its opacity. Advanced settings. None of this is what I want. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay. And then I can just get rid of it when I'm done. But this now gets it so... Let's lock it in place too. So let's lock it so it can't move. Okay. This makes it where we can now do some stuff with this, right? So this is cool. We need the line tool. So we can make water here. So let's open up the calendar and let's see what the texture map is for water. I don't know if I like that texture for it though. We need to make this way smaller. This will have to be like 20. And that's not working. Not working. Or is it working and I just can't see it? Nope. It's not working. There we go. Head to foreground instead of background. Make this 10. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to show that this is like linear. So we'll just have kind of like this, and they'll know that this is like linear then. Okay. Yeah, this doesn't have, like I said, have to be perfect because this is supposed to be like an old time mappy kind of thing. So probably gonna put this down to 5 and get a little bit more finer detail here. Yeah. And then kind of just do like this. We want to make this kind of look like it's hand drawn, like, you know, some explorers have hand drawn this, and this is what they think the area looks like. Okay, that looks good enough for me, probably. For water. Definitely make it look like this. Get a little bit in here, a little bit here, like this. We don't have to get the Chattanooga River or anything in there because the Chattanooga River is this river right here that kind of goes through Atlanta, comes from Lake Lanier, comes all the way down and goes all the way down into Atlanta. You can ride the river all the way into town if you wanted to. Oh shit. No, I just kind of have to get this colored in good enough that, you know, this looks like Lake Lanier. I can probably make this bigger now. Because the rest of this I just don't care about because it's going to be like off the map. So I don't want to spend a huge amount of time on this. Just enough to kind of get it decent enough. I think they're going to get the idea of this. Because they live there. just kind of color this in a little bit more, get a little bit darker and stuff. That's cool. So now, if I were to set this again, delete, there's our like linear. Now the texture background for this, I don't like at all. So I want to find a more old time mappy kind of texture background. Pavement, pirate. Where are the map backgrounds? Wizard. For paper. Sewers, pirate, pavement, parsnip textures. Here we go. Yeah. Hell yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Oh shit. I'm drawing over my roads though. See that? Crap. I can redraw them. I do not like this background color at all, so I'm more concerned about fixing the background color than anything else. All right. I just lost all my water too, didn't I? All right. Let's get rid of this and make sure that this is what I want. That looks more of like what I was looking for. All right, so now let's do this for real this time. Coming more into here, Buford more into there. Get our texture open here, get this down to 10. Some real quick parts of like linear here again. Doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. Just kind of get around the land here. And I'll take the big thing and I just need to trace around this to have the understanding of the shape. And then I'll just bring the big dude in and have him draw it out. And then make sure I get around these islands. Make these look like there are islands in here. And now I can just make this thing super ass huge. Maybe not that big. There we go. Put all this in. So we have all of our water kind of made up. Looks pretty good. Doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. I'm just getting the idea of what's going on here. And now if I were to get rid of this, there's my water source, which is good enough. And then I just need to get a water source over here, so they know that this is kind of here. Just kind of go here. Okay, cool. Now we need to redo our map, our road. So our road's going to be the long. Actually, our road would be a straight line, I think. Now that I think about it. Yep. So let's start with 75. We'll bring 75 in like this. Finish it off here. So that's to the 285 to the wall. We'll bring it into town like this instead. So that's half of 75. 75 and 85 join downtown. Like that. Be like that. So let's see if we can get that perfect. There we go. So now in downtown, we're gonna like this. This is technically speaking 85 now. 75 would have peeled off right here. Eventually come, no, right down here. Sorry. Okay. I don't like that peel off. There we go. And it doesn't have to be perfect because they'll never know that I traced this like this. That's good enough, I think. Let's see here. So then we have 85 that's going to be coming out. Coming into town. And God, I've driven this so many times. Back and forth between Alabama. To visit my in-laws and where we live now. And so then 85 comes up like this. And I'll take care of that connecting after. You can see there's got a little connection that it was missing. Like that. Let me fix this here. That's better. And then won't even show the off here. Go back and okay. It's looking good. We'll do the 216 fork off here. We'll make that an official road. What other roads we want to make official? We'll make this official. So everybody drives this. It's like kind of like a back road between 400 and 85. Like how that intersects though. So this is 400, so we need to draw 400 in now. And bring that all the way down into the wall. Yeah. Getting close here. And we need to put Buckhead on here. I don't know why we don't even have Buckhead on here. The fact that Google Maps doesn't have Buckhead on here and has Sandy Springs is actually pretty darn insulting if you live in Atlanta. Buckhead's like the big town that's in the perimeter right here. So let's add that in actually. This will be Buckhead. And so that people know that really well. Buckhead's a big town. A lot of great concerts there, actually. Let's see here. So what I'm doing is I'm building a map for my D&D game that's based on the United States, and specifically the first couple of games that we'll be playing are based right in Atlanta. So I'm building a map of Atlanta to kind of point out some things that I'm tracing out the map based on Google Maps so that my scale is right. I'm going to also add in Mabletown here. Oops. Obviously, I'm not on the home teams. There we go. Wait, did I spell right? No. Enable type. Yeah, that's cool. Let's see here. What else do we want to call out? Trying to think. Are they going to be mad if I don't have? Oh, look at that! I'm missing part here. How did I miss that? That's weird. I missed this part of 400. There we go. I need a little spot. So now we need to make the wall that goes around Atlanta. That's around 285. And this will make everything a little bit easier. So that's not fine enough. We want little dots here. Oh, we didn't get 20. That's what we're missing here. I need to get 20 going across Atlanta. So this will be a big ass wall that is around the entire city of Atlanta to keep them fortified from the Empire. The Empire is this evil kingdom that is in New England. That the Emperor is hunting wizards. He believes so. How this works? Let me save this real quick. Show some cool stuff here too. So let's save this, and this is Atlanta. We'll save this and I'll show this real quick again. The US map to kind of explain how New World works. Let's go back to maps and take a look at New World's main map right here. And I'll explain the world, how it works a little bit here. So New World loads in. Okay, here we go. You can see here, these are the major roads of New World. So this region right here that's all in red is the Empire. Okay, they own anything in red is ruled by this dictarian guy. Their headquarters is in New York, off Manhattan. That's where his castle is and stuff. And he's got some of his brothers and sisters that rule over Rochester and Buffalo. Badass dude. But what's going on is there's a corruption of the land. And so anything that's green here land's been corrupted. It's like a blight. Especially on Lafayette and New Orleans, it's not necessarily safe to be in these areas. And this blight, the Emperor believes, is caused by magic users. And so he has outlawed magic in any lands that he rules, and he sends bounty hunters out to hunt magic people in any of the other lands. And so if you're a magic user, you don't want to live in the north to start out with. And they do have magic users in there, but really they're licensed by the government, and they only can use magic so often. And they're literally only reason they have magic is to fight fellow magic users, right? To kind of bring them in to justice. The lands that are this color right here, this kind of map color, these are the free lands. These are the southern states, like the Union states, and they've kind of bonded together. And everybody is cool here. It's like, hey, magic, you can do whatever you want here. It's there's little regional kind of people ruling over these. There's no king of this area or anything like that. But the United Confederacy states are basically goal is to like be a safe haven for anybody that's magic and name, or really just anything. Any race, you don't have to worry about it. It's kind of cool down here. There's a war going on in these areas right here, these white areas between the Orc and the Minotaur. So that's what these are. The plains are kind of a no man's land. Over here, the hippies, elves, own anything that's in the light green here. So they own parts of Tijuana and all of California, Oregon, and Seattle. There's a big long story between how the hippie elves work and stuff. They actually ran out the original elves, which are now called the Drow, which are the dark elves. The dark elves actually were originally just regular elves, and the new elves came over from Europe, and kind of like the Native Americans, drove them underground and forced them to live in the place that they live now. And the Drow are really kind of pissed off about that. So in regular D&D, the Drow are kind of like thought of as bad guys. In my world, the Drows are absolutely totally normal and justified in their hating of the above ground elves because they stole their home. And so I want to make the elves kind of not the perfect goody two shoes that some games make them, because they're not really goody two shoe. Everybody's got problems, right? So I wanted to make sure I did that. Kennesaw. A couple of the people that used to play my game now are going to school in Kennesaw. So if you're watching this, I think, no, Laura's going downtown. I think James is going to Kennesaw maybe. So we'll have Kennesaw on the map, and we'll also, oop, I don't want to move the road there. I just want to move the town name. So it's right exactly where Google has it, and we'll put Woodstock in. These are towns that, like I said, the people that I play with, they know really well. So I want them to be able to see those things and then go, oh, okay, I totally get it. I get where like things are and stuff in the world. And I'm hoping that this will make the game a little bit easier for them. So we're gonna build a couple more roads here, I think. We've got the map. Oh, I've got to do 20. That's a big road. This is a big deal. So in Atlanta, 20 is, like I said, the difference between the good side of Atlanta and the bad side of Atlanta. Hate to say it, but that's the truth. If you're on the south side of Atlanta, you may be in the bad side of town. Especially if you're over down here in East Point. Boy, oh boy. Me and Russell, the guy I used to work with, Russell, if you're watching this, hey, but maybe you'll watch this eventually. We drove down to the airport one time, and literally it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. We drove by a gas station where there was just like literally a shooting. There was like 2 people dead, and we're like, well, that's just normal on this side of town. And, you know, and the cops, there's like all these cops at this gas station. We're driving by. We're like, what the hell? Holy crap. That's bonkers. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's exactly what you want to see. And and neither one of us said to stop because we're like, we're not stopping. That's not going to happen. I'll probably put here, I think this is 92 that's going across, if I remember right. I should remember that's the road I used to live off of. But I'm pretty sure this, I'm going to put this on because this is the famous road that we used to drive across to get to Heroic Gaming, which is where our entire group met. So I think it's important to have that on the map. And then we'll put East Cobb on the map. It's not really a town, it's more of a county. But we'll put it on the map so that they see it. And that's a homage to where I used to live. East Cobb here. And so that's darn it. There we go. Perfect. I normally will take like little red circles and put them where the town names are. I may do that after I ditch the Google map. For right now, I just want to get the major roads in. And then we may want to take a look at stamps and see if there is towns. Let's see here. We don't want... We don't need battle maps. We're looking for... not even really terrain. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, let's see here. Let's go to terrain. Nope. Symbols. What do we have? Well, these actually look kind of cool if I can color them. No. Okay, I don't actually like most of this. I guess it looks okay. Let's see here. So let's see if I can... I don't want dwarf, I don't want orc. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, that would actually kind of probably work. So if we put it in, like, right here. We just put a little town icon by each one of these so people know that that's what a town is. Like right here. Findings, Smyrna. Mableton, East Point. Well, not anything south. Coming. Woodstock. Yeah, see, now this is starting to look like a real map, right? You know, you could put some little icons on here like this, and it's all going to start making sense. Just feel like a couple more of these towns I need to kind of call out. I need to put definitely here in Midtown. I don't believe I have Midtown on here, and that's kind of important. Okay. And now we can ditch the original Atlanta here. And that gives us an idea of what's going on with our map. And then we can kind of just black out. Close this out. And then what we want to do with this is we just want to do a color, black. And yeah, I just want to color that. How do I fill this? Nope. Fill. Ah! I only want to fill the selected area. Nope. Probably start moving some things around like this. Maybe move Buckhead down just a hair so it's not in the way of the wall. They all know that what Buckhead is, so. But I do want this to look decent enough for them to understand what's going on. That's good. East Cobb is really not a town, so I'm not going to put that there actually, because East Cobb is just a. At least I don't think it's a town. I'm going to copy this and put one up by Beaufort though. That'll keep them happy. And we got coming. I think this is looking okay for right now. This is to get them an idea of what's going on here with the town. The map. I'll go through and clean this up eventually, but this is a good starting point for tonight of getting something that I can start using. But show off to them. So I think I'm trying to do a little bit of, when I'm doing this kind of stuff, try to do a little bit of map work, try to do a little bit of data entry and stuff like that. So if we look here, I've got Brookhaven, which is on the map over here. So this is this town right here because it starts with the letter B, and I started with the alphabetic. So you can see here, Brookhaven is this town. It's ruled by Alessandra Alvin. She is a magister. And so how it works is that all the towns inside the perimeter each have a magister, and then they sit on a council. And the council is what governs all the things that happen inside the wall. Now, outside the wall, there's a separate ministers that are running each one of these towns. They're like mayors, or they're kind of lord rules. And then they also have their own council, and then they negotiate laws between the greater good of the Atlanta area. So kind of three different sets. Now, there's also this group of police called the Atlanta Watch. And these are a group of captains that have complete law power in the region. So what this means is that they don't have to go to court. If they're kind of like Judge Dredd in the sense that if they find you doing a crime and they think you committed it, then you're guilty. There's no court to go to. They will punish you right on the spot. They have the power to fully supervent any kind of court system and send you directly to jail. They're super complicated. They don't work on small problems. They're not going to get you for jaywalking, but they are very important people in the game, in my world. And they can deputize people. And then this is what I was talking about, the Atlanta Magistrates Council. You can see here, this is the council and its structure. And they, they're basically, they have the Grand Hall, the Citadel, which is basically in the downtown area. That's where the Capitol currently is today in Atlanta. They make laws, they go through and make sure everything's cool. They understand the tax system and trade agreements, all those kind of things. So then you get all those things set up. So it's a lot of work, a lot of data entry that gets added, and a lot of stuff I have to make up. And so, but also in Brookhaven, we have to have like key establishments like the Mystic Emporium, which is a shop. If we go look at that place, here's the Mystic Story Emporium, and it's owned by Tiberius Stonefire. And if I click on him, he's a middle-aged dwarf, with bushy back beard and piercing blue eyes. He has expertise in magical artifacts and ability to locate rare items. So he's got a network. You can see here he's 192 years old. He's a dwarf male. He's an NPC. He's in the Stonefire family. And eventually what you should be able to do is click on the Mystic Emporium here. And I want to have like the inventory of the shop, right? So this is a shop. You should be able to click on inventory and see all the stuff that the shop's selling and how much it's worth and stuff. As you can see, this is a shit ton of work to set up and stuff. But this is how you build worlds. And by doing that, if my players say, hey, I want to go to Brookhaven, all I have to do is go to Brookhaven and say, oh, okay, well, I know where all the places they can go to are here. You know, if they're going to have, like, here's the inns. There's two of them. There's the Tipsy Dragon, which is the larger of the two inns. And if I were to go in here, I can even see for Tipsy Dragon, here we are. And you can see it's owned by these two people. But if I look in here, I can see these are workers, right? So Rika and Rorik are, well, Rorik is the owner and Gina is his wife. And then you have Drog and Rika, they're workers. There's a cook and then a barmaid that works there. Dwarf and half elf, and I can look at each one of them. So if they go to the inn, I know what to say about the inn. I'm like, hey, you know, here's these are the people that work at that inn, and I don't have to think about it then. So when you're running a game, one of the biggest things is you want to try to make it so that you can be consistent about your story, right? I want to focus on the story of like what they're trying to do. I don't want to focus like on this. They go to the inn and who's the people working there, and then I say it one week and I say it's one person, and the next week I say the name wrong. So you got to kind of have a straight story. That's how a world works. People feel like they belong in the world when you can sell the information in the world being true, right? And the only way to do that then is you have to kind of build the world out. And that's what we're doing right now. So you can see here, I was world building last night, pretty late after my D&D game. And the Shadow Grove Inn is another inn, and then we have some additional landmarks. We have the Enchanted Grove, which is a little forest area, outskirts of Brookhaven. And so when I build a Brookhaven map, I want to have like the Enchanted Grove, the Silver Fountain, the Arcane Library. So the Arcane Library is important because the Arcane Library will have students at it that are also going to the school. You can see here, here's some workers that work at the library, but I also need to get some schools and kids in here from the Arcane School that's up in Cumming. And so that, you know, you can say, hey, they have to take a semester at the Arcane Library, which is the kind of library that's downtown in Atlanta and the major source for a lot of people that are just getting into magic that don't have the money to go to the school to learn about arcane knowledge and stuff. Market Square, of course, this is going to be where your shops are and stuff. The Sunfire Shrine. And let's see here, the Whispering Woods, a little another forest area, and then of course the Crystal Cavern. And this is kind of making fun a little bit of the underground Atlanta. There is a small amount of the Marta train that goes underneath Atlanta. And so I wanted to kind of have like, hey, there's this Crystal Cavern and stuff Marta going underneath Atlanta. And it's like this whole underground thing. And there could be like an underground syndicate crime wave and stuff underneath there. I thought that would be all kind of cool. So that's the stuff I kind of worked on last night. So normally what I do is I kind of first get my idea of the locations I want to have, right? I knew that Brookhaven's pretty small. I may need more stores than this, right? I'm gonna need some kind of grocery store. You know, obviously we have the Mystic Emporium, so we can edit this. We can just go through and edit, and it's just a text editor. It's a better text editor than Roll20. So if you're watching my stream on Tuesday night and I was fighting with Roll20, one reason why I'm using this website instead of Roll20 is it's just so much better. Its text editor is actually really good, and you can link all the stuff together here with types, and you can have tags. And then when I build a dashboard, for example, go to the dashboard here, I can have all kinds of filtering of the stuff I want to show on the dashboard, and I have many different dashboards. So I have players with their own dashboard, and you know, maybe there's depending on what night the game's on, I may have a different dashboard of like their notes from the previous session or whatever I want in here. It's pretty cool. One of the players that play my game told me about this website, and I looked at it. I was like, yeah, this is the shit right here. This is cool. This allows me to build a world, and that's what I've been wanting to do for about 3 years now, is build this world out. So I'm finally going to start doing that. So if I go to Brookhaven here, I need to have a general goods store. So trying to think here. I also want to have a bunch of puns in this game. So I'm interested in Nick and anybody else that's watching. If you're, I know I see there's a couple people online here. If you have some ideas of what I should name things or things I should have, let me know. Now, in the South, there's two major grocery stores, Kroger and, oh, what's the one that starts with P? What is the other one called? I don't leave my house. Nick, you know this. I've said this before to you, but I don't even know what's out there because my wife does all the shopping. I never leave the complex of the farm. Publix, that's it. So there's all kinds of Publix here, and then obviously in Atlanta, if you were to go over to Atlanta, oh boy. All right, there's a Publix. It seems like in every street corner. I know there's two in Cumming, or two of them like where we lived. That yeah, see, there's one right here, then one right over here. You know, we kind of lived over here, so we had our pick of choices of Publix to go to. When you're in Atlanta, I mean, they're just all over the place, right? So Publix, I like better than Kroger. So I want to make a pun on Publix, right? Let's ask ChatGPT. What am I thinking here? We got AI. Got ChatGPT installed. Let's see here. What's oh, I got to make this so you guys can see it here. How do I? Okay. ChatGPT, here we go. We're gonna say, give me a pun on the following grocery stores for a Dungeons and Dragons game. I want the names to be very similar to the real names so that my players find it funny. So we're gonna say Publix, Kroger, and Piggly. We'll see what it comes back with the puns. Publix. Oh yeah, I like that. Publix. I like that. Kroger. Oh, this is a This is so good. I'm gonna use this one, definitely. Okay, AI, you win. They're gonna take over my job here, man, as a DM. Oop. I'm gonna paste and match styles. And then we'll have to make a store for this, right? But Krogor will be the finest, will be who stocks general store items. And let's see here. So Krogor, that's pretty funny. That's pretty. I'm pleasantly surprised that it came up with that, and I did not think of it. That's good. Where ChatGPT go? Look for the icon on the dock. Here we go. And then Piggly, the Piggly Wiggly. That's cool too. So add those in as paste the match style. The Piggly Wiggly. That's pretty funny. And so how you link these in then is you have to make the town, you have to make those items first. So let's go ahead and save. So these will be locations, right? So we need Krogor. And there's gonna be many Krogors, so this won't be in Brookhaven. So we'll have to go back to locations here and make a new location. Brookhaven, and this is a shop, and it is in Brookhaven. Actually, I can just make the location. I should put the name in here because there'll be so many of them. And now we need an orc that is going to run this store, right? That owns it, and this is a general store item. And so, general store that stocks general items and gadgets. The store ran by an ogre. By orc name. We should make this Crom. We'll make it my Crom. Where's Crom's last name? I never remember Crom's last name. Linking the campaigns together, folks. Here, Crom is way up here. Crom would be Frostwolf. Frostwolf. And then now, in order for Crom to get linked, we have to make the character. So we have to make a character here. And then we name Frostwolf. And then Crom would be owner is his title, and his location is, nope, not Krogor. He owns, oh, I didn't make the, no, I did make Krogor. That's right. He's an NPC. He is from the family of Frostwolves. And we'll add that family in. Because I'll probably have like one of his brothers like own another one of the stores, right? The Frostwolves would be like this right. Well, they'll be like this group of people that like own like family chains of Krogors and in there, and that sounds pretty funny to me. I like that. Owns and operates the Krogor in Brookhaven. He is about 220 years old. He is a male, old cranky dude. He owner. And I should have AI generate a image for him that we can put in. let's do that. So let's go to our AI overlords and see what they can do for that for me. We'll edit him. Go back to ChatGPT. Generate an image of Crom Frostwolf who runs the Rogue or store in Brookhaven in a Dungeons and Dragons game. Is an orc that is very old and has gray hair with green skin. He has seen much combat and has retired to run a grocery store. That's the image I want. I find this absolutely hilarious. So it comes on here. What's going on over here? We're doing that real quick here. Yeah. Oh, what? That's too good. That is literally too good. Oh God, that is so good. Let's save this in documents. New world. My God, that is. I think that's the best. That's a highlight of my day right there. That image turned out so good. Yeah. And then his image should update here too. Yep, there's see. So then when you click on Chrome, there's the image. So I need to enter an image generate for a little bit of everybody. This is where the game really kicks in, like the imagination. When the players, I can say, well, here's a picture of Crom, and they can go look at it and then see that image. They're like, oh, that's what he looks like. It just makes the game more believable. And AI art, look, man, I get if you're an artist, I feel bad. But honestly, I'm not an artist. I don't have time to generate art. The fact that I can just generate like this art real quickly from my D&D game and it works, that's awesome. It's one of the coolest things. I mean, I love it so much. So there's Crom, and we have the Krogor behind him, the little store, which is cool. And I can use that same for the location here. Let's find Krogor. These are towns I need. I need to take the events filter off. Oh, actually, Krogor should be in here. Yes. And then I can edit this. And now I can say, instead of just having the text here, what I do is I link it. And that will be linked now so people can click on it. And then I'll just upload the same image here. And that's cool. And I can add attributes like these will be all the inventory. So you can add all kinds of other things in here. You can do all kinds of stuff with this piece of software. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool website. And so we can see here. And then I can go to Chrome and I can link the Krogor here also. So you can link both ways. So you can say here, Krogor Caven. That. And now there's dual link. So from Chrome, you go to the Krogor, and from Krogor, you can go to Chrome by clicking this link. And that means it doesn't matter how you get to it, works the same way. So go back to our locations and go back to, my goal is to get a location finished and then work on the next location. I want to have the first one-off adventure probably be in Buckhead. So I want to get Brookhaven and Buckhead finished at least. And now in here, I can link it to it here. There we go. So the Piggly Wiggly is got to be ran by like in the back seat, which is a cat person. It just has to be. There's no wolf people. I mean, there are werewolves like lycanthropes and stuff, and that would be the funniest thing to have it run by a lycanthrope. The Piggly Wiggly, because we're making fun of the pigs and the wolf, right? And the wolf blows the house down. Let's do that. Let's create the Piggly Wiggly. Go to locations. Here we need to make a location called the Piggly Wiggly in Brookhaven. And this is going to be Brookhaven, and then this is a shop. General goods. Grocery store. Ran by what was the wolf's name from the comic book? What was his name? Bigsby Wolf. Yeah, yeah, that's what it's gonna be ran by. There we go. And Bigsby Wolf. Oh, good lord. Yeah, that's hilarious. Let's go to ChatGPT and have him generate Bigsby Wolf's picture for this. Let's see here. Generate an image of Bigsby Wolf whom owns and runs the Piggly Wiggly grocery store in Brookhaven in a fantasy Dungeons and Dragons game. That hurts. Big B is a human rumored to be a werewolf. Oh, this is why I do this. Oh, yeah, because that's a comic book character. It'd be a copyright thing. So it's I'll say Billy Bob Wolf who wants, yeah. There we go. Billy Bob's even funnier. Instead of big bad Billy Bob. What the shit? That looks cool. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Oh, this is fun. Billy Bob Wolf. Yeah, Billy Bob Wolf. NPC, he is a owner, and he is of the Wolf family. The family anyways. He's male. He is a human, and his location is Piggly Wiggly. Owner and operator of the age 42. Gender male. He. Choose the file. My favorite part. Heck yeah. And we'll go through and edit this one and put the same picture in. That way I only have to do one picture. And it's got the store in it, so. Then we have to fix this because this is not Bigsby. Billy Wolf. There we go. I can do a couple of these so I can post these to Discord, to the group. They're gonna laugh at these. This will make them. Where's Discord at? I gotta cut and paste these into the D&D chat group that I have. And let's see here. Let me get those screenshots out. I've got Discord on screen. Sorry, this will only take a second, but this is pretty funny. There it is. Oh yeah, that's done right. Hilarious. All right, let's go back to Brookhaven now that I have my phone. So we have the Piggly Wiggly. We got to go through and add that in as a. Yep. So that gives us a couple key establishments of like shopping areas for them. See, this is weird because it looks like there's an extra space in there that is different than this. I'll take the numbers out and see if I add the numbers in via the software, if it fixes this weird space issue I'm seeing. Yeah, see how 4 Piggly Wiggly doesn't get added? Oh, I think that's probably gonna be there just like that. I get picky about how my text renders. I think I have the right to be that. So let's see here. So we've got a couple places for them to grocery shop. We need some schools, right? So we have some landmarks here that we need to create, but then there's got to be schools. And then these need to be bolded too, really key establishments. This should be like a header. Should be a header 2. Header 2. we'll need like some public spaces, like key establishments or like your stores, and you have your inns, your landmarks, and we need like the library should be a public location. So let's make public locations. Call this public locations. And okay, we can get rid of the arcane library from here. Of course, these didn't renumber because I didn't use the numbering tool. So I forgot to delete these. So you reuse the numbering tool so that they renumber if I move them around. This is why you should always reuse the number tool. I don't care about that. Let's make these numbered. Yeah. What I don't know what the I don't know what the name of the school is in Brookhaven. Haven School. Public school. Oh, there's multiple schools. Really? That's Decatur, though. No, I don't want. I just want Brookhaven. All right, what do we got here? Let's just zoom into Brookhaven. So Brookhaven would be. So here's Buckhead. Brookhaven would be over here. Where the hell's... Oh, right here's Brookhaven. All right, so let's see here. Diagonal Keys. So Cross Keys High School. It's in Druid Hills, though. What is this? I want something I can make fun of. Like I can make a Ashford Park. I think Ashford Park. I need a pun on that. I'll go back to ChatGPT. Get a pun on it. Is it Ashford? What was it called? Ashford Park. How did I not think of that? God bless America, this ChatGPT is just knocking it out of the park tonight, man, when it comes to like ideas for this. Oh, that's interesting. It's not the same font, I think. I think that's what's going on. We'll call it Axford Parks Public School. And we'll need to we'll update that, and then we need to go make a location for that in Brookhaven. So we'll call it, and sure, this is Barry, and this is a school. And we need a text from go back to locations in Brookhaven and get that text for that. Go back to locations. And so we'll have ChatGPT generate some cool things about this school. So let's go in ChatGPT and have it generate the teachers. And well, can you generate a picture of Axford Park School? I don't like that. I want something darker. That looks happy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly what I want. God, this is a lot of fun. Oh shit. Forgot to name it with a WebP extension. Let's go to doc and fix that. We can even add some attributes. It's like how many students. So we'll just say here, we'll add an attribute, a number, and we'll say that there is 550 students going there. This is pinned, and we'll say that there's 20. There's gonna be more than 20 teachers, right? Do some quick math here. 500. If we had 550 students, there was 20 teachers. That'd be 27. Actually, that's not bad. It's actually pretty not bad. We'll say 22 teachers. Shit. Okay. Oh, I didn't pin the other one. So when you pin them, the cool thing is these attributes, they show up on the main page for it, which is kind of neat. So then you can see here, there's a pin. So when they go to the school to say, oh, 550 students and 22 teachers, it's a school. And then you can have all kinds of things like a list of the students, teachers. That's what I want to have is the teachers, right? You can make these connections, which is kind of cool. You can just take different objects and you can add in connections. And once you add connections in, I can go here and say, here's a connection, and then maybe they have a connection with another school, like a rivalry with a school, right? And then you can see, like, from the storyline, you'll get this big tree of seeing, like, what's going on. Like, how do these things connect together? And this is where it gets kind of cool when you use a tool like this, is that, you know, you can kind of understand the relationships in your world of what's going on here. So if you don't remember, go to connections, and it'll tell you what's going on. So when you're building a D&D world, this is pretty powerful feature actually. And I do like this. I think this is hilarious actually. Axford Park Public Schools. The school for known its history of training young adventurers in the art of battling and magic. Total emphasis on axe wielding techniques. Yeah, I think that's pretty funny. Let's see here. I think we'll do one more, and then let's take a look at the school again, or the locations again in Brookhaven. We can edit this now and add that link. And then what I should do before I log out, generate the 22 teachers. So let's have it do that. Generate the name, first name, last name, sex, race, and short backstory for each of the 22 teachers that teach at Axford Park Schools. In the back story, I need to list out what classes or skills they teach and how they got those skills. There we go. It's generating us people. So now all we have to do is take these people, cut and paste it in, and then we'll slowly make people from them in the characters, and we'll generate images for each one of them then. I think that copied it. Nope. Just copy my question. I need these. Because I'm going to slowly cut and paste these into the character creator. Oh yeah, and I already see Tabaxi in the list. That makes me smile. I might have to tweet these. Oop. I might have to tweet these. I will probably tweet these. 1, 2. Edit, paste, style. I don't know why I'm cutting these because or doing this. Top archery and woodland survival for Axford Park. For centuries, honored living in the enchanted forest of that would not be Overgrow because I don't know where that is. That would be instead in Brookhaven. There is a woods here. Where is it? Whispering Woods. Yeah, so we want to go back to the school and make sure that. So when ChatGPT generates you content, it's not necessarily the content you're gonna want because it's gonna be out of place, right? But if I say the Enchanted Forest of the Whispering Woods, well, I already have that listed as my locations. And she learned to communicate, and it's called the Whispering Woods. I mean, holy crap! On a cracker, that fits perfectly. So that's gonna give us some good things, and you know. I should probably had it generated like a husband and kids names because sometimes people get into that, but I think this will be good enough to get started with. You know, I'm now starting to think that maybe my one-off should be the characters go to this freaking school. How funny would that be if they go to the school, the Axford Park Public School, for adventuring, and they are learning how to adventure. And so maybe their first like thing is to like I don't know. I gotta think about like what would their first adventure be. Like their first quest would be like that's I gotta think of that. So if they had this, right, I would say that their first quest may be like maybe like the janitor goes missing. Right? And so there's like a big thing going on in the school, and you know, some of the students, I'd have to generate some like students, other student names. That would be so. I have the teachers, right? But I have to generate like a bunch of kids that they would be involved with. But I gotta ask the group this, see if they'd be okay with playing younger people, like teenagers. And if they are, holy shit, that would be funny. Is to have their characters literally be like teenagers. This is like they're just starting to be adventurers. Shit, this is a good idea. Shit, this is a good idea. I'm liking this a lot. I think this is pretty funny. I run this past the players to see what they think, but all right, it's getting close to time for me. I've been in here for 2.5. I still have to go spend time with my wife and my dogs, otherwise they're going to be very upset and cranky. So I think this is enough world building for me tonight and some things to think about. I'll be back on again this weekend doing some more world building for the D&D, the New World Here campaign. But appreciate you all for attending. If you're watching on afterward, you can always ping me on Discord, on Twitter, if you have questions, of course, or on GitHub, wherever you want to ping me. Otherwise,